This will be unlike any other video masterclass you've been to. We will be focusing on all the things that people usually ignore, which are usually the most important things when it comes to video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shanee Moret. I've built up a following on LinkedIn, almost 1 million followers over the last few years. One of the main ways that I have done that, short form video and live video. The thing that I really want you to keep in mind throughout this entire presentation is that video is your ability to share a message at scale. And the better you get at that skill, the more that you could potentially change your life. I have seen that the people that have been able to change their lives within the last 3 years specifically have been those that have not just been consistent with video, but that have consistently improved their ability to communicate at scale on video. It's not just that you're publishing a video and checking it off the list to get it done. This is a skill, this is long-term thinking, and this is mastery. It's a process. The tool that I'm going to show you today, like the update on LinkedIn, is amazing, but just keep in mind that it always comes down to the skill set, no matter what tool it is that you're using. The only thing that we really need to know is that LinkedIn released a beta update in March. And when you go to your mobile app, usually all you would see is home, network, notifications, and jobs. Now you may see a video tab between home and my network. Even if you don't have it on your phone, even if you're not in the beta program, your video could get picked up and put on this feed. We have clients, they have 1,000, 2,000 connections. They're not in the beta program. They don't even have it on their mobile device yet. And we see their video when we scroll, and then they will experience one video of theirs going viral. The way that they know this is because the impressions per engagement, per share, per comment is very different if your video kind of blows up on this feed compared to the regular feed. And they'll see a lot of second and third degree connections commenting on their video, even if they're not able to see it on the actual feed. So what does this mean? It means that if you do not create short form videos, you won't have the ability to show up on this feed. Number two, more of your competitors are going to start to create short form videos on LinkedIn. Now, out of 1 billion active users, only 1% of users create original content on LinkedIn on a weekly basis. So they take market share. Usually, what that would mean is that your competitors, especially since the release of AI, will put an image, they'll share some networking picture, they'll put out a quote, they'll put out some stock image that they shouldn't put out, but it's like the olden days PowerPoint stock image with a quote. And you could do short form video, you could stand out pretty easily, and you had an advantage. But as more of your competitors start to do short form, it will raise the bar. And if you don't do it better, you're choosing to not leverage a blue ocean. And short form is anywhere between 45 seconds to 2 minutes. Number three, because of the massive opportunity, creators with more experience are going to start to leverage this feed and eat up the attention. In fact, they already are. I know this because they come to me and they're like, I have 1 million followers on Instagram. We have 3.5 million subs on YouTube. We have a library full of shorts. We need you to tell us which ones we need to create for LinkedIn. And when that starts to happen, and when they start to see the power of LinkedIn, the power of being in front of an audience where 4 out of every 5 people are decision makers, the power of being in front of an audience where the average user has double the income, double the expendable resources as the average user on Facebook and Instagram, they will start to seize that. And they have the ability to, because they usually have a marketing team to help them move faster. They have the videos already created, and they have the skills that if someone like me are to tell them, hey, go film these, they know how to do it. They have already put in a few years of communicating at scale on video on other platforms. There could be a creator in your niche in your industry that guaranteed will start to deploy these videos, will start to see how powerful leveraging the LinkedIn audience is, and will seize the opportunity. And if we don't start to take our video skills seriously, we just fall more and more behind. And I know quite a few people who are already doing this. Also, when Alex Hermosi comes out, last week he did a video and he basically said that LinkedIn tied with Twitter or X for him as one of the most valuable social media platforms. And he literally said you could have the smallest audience and get the most results because it's not just content, it's also you can mix it with outbound and they have this type of feed. More and more people will start getting on this platform is the point. And some of them will have already mastered video skills. So why do I say this? If there's a time to take short video on LinkedIn seriously, the time is now. And the baseline of what is considered an average video when you are starting with short form video today in late 2024 is much higher quality than 3 years ago. 3 years ago, you could get on LinkedIn, you could say, hey, I just want to wish you a beautiful day. I want to share some words of inspiration and affirmation. And that video, just those 30 seconds or 45 seconds, could potentially go viral. Today, it's a very different story. Why? Because there's more people in your space that are sharing useful and actionable information. Also, more people are like Amazon just said, hey, you have to come back to work. So a lot of your audience, the market share of like their attention went from very large that you could seize to not so large because now they're balancing a lot of things. They're not just like scrolling. So maybe when you had 10 minutes to seize their attention before, you have one now and you have more people competing for that 1 minute. So you actually have to be good and you can be good. And the power of this is that a lot of you are sleeping on knowledge, experience, stories that could get you seen, that could put your business at an advantage. The only thing is you're not sharing them. The real skill here is not about getting in front of a camera, putting captions and whatever. It's what do you say to get the attention of the right person? What story do you share? What tip do you share? What life experience challenge do you share? Improve your ability to communicate with your audience at a scale, or you really are choosing to suffer those consequences long term. And I just did a video where it compared what is the difference between like high performers and low performers. Based on research, it's one thing. A high performer will say, I'm going to do this thing that I'm not that excited about today so that I can reap these benefits in the future, so that I don't have to go through the pain of not having leads for my business in the future, have to go through the pain of needing to DM people and go outbound in the future, or having to cold call people in the future, because that future pain is more intense and more uncomfortable than the current discomfort of starting to learn video. A lower performer will be like, oh, I don't feel like doing short form. It's a little bit uncomfortable. And so I will suffer those consequences. So where do we start? And really, this is the most important thing. If we don't define this, then you will create videos that will get you views, but will not really align with your number one thing that you're trying to achieve. I really want you to think about this. What is your one goal? And we could even make it specific, which is what is your one goal within the next 90 days within your business? And you want to make it specific. So you could say, the one goal that I have within the next 90 days is to secure 5 high ticket coaching clients. Could be to fill a 20-person cohort, group coaching. It could just be to get as many views as possible, because if a byproduct of the views is clients, that's great. But I have other systems that drive clients for my business, and I just want to increase my influence. And if you're a higher level CEO, it could be talent acquisition. Doesn't have to be clients. Okay. So now that you've decided that, we're only going to speak to one person over and over again. And clients is very broad, because I know that for me, I could say that the person that pays me a large sum of money for one-on-one executive coaching for a year is not the same person. They don't have the same problems. They don't have the same amount of money. They don't have the same amount of energy or resources or even business knowledge as someone who may want to opt for a group coaching program, or as someone who may want to opt for $100 course. So if your number one goal in your business, If you want to build a business where you just sell $100 course and you just get people to go to a landing page and buy the course, you need to really ask yourself who is going to be the buyer of that course, and we need to create content for them. If you want people to book consultations and become high ticket clients, then that's who you need to create content for. I don't care if you have 5 different types of other clients. And I want you to really think when I say they have different problems, you can really start to brainstorm what are related to what it is that I do, related to the offer, the number one offer that I want to sell. What are the most immediate problems that I could probably help them with? Most immediate problem number one, most immediate problem two, most immediate problem three. And do you know what those are? For example, if I personally audit our best clients, they have 3 things in common. They want to do short form video, even though they're not excited about it. Okay. They want to create and be consistent with a LinkedIn newsletter and eventually build a private email list. Okay. Most immediate problem 3, they want to go live on LinkedIn. Okay. Then I need to ask myself, okay, this is what they want. So why aren't they doing it? What's the resistance? And then you start to break this down, right? For some, it's overthinking, but for others, it could just be a technical problem or they haven't prioritized it yet. They are in a new phase in their business. It could be that they saw their competitors starting to create video and now they're going to hunker down and do it. So you also have to know the nuances that come with your client because a lot of my clients, they tend to be confident. So it's not that they're necessarily afraid of the camera. It's just that they really haven't prioritized it yet until they're like, I got to do this thing. And so they are ready to move forward and they are ready to do it now. They just want to pay for speed. Okay. So this is where the nuances come in. They want to create and be consistent with the LinkedIn newsletter. They've heard about it, but they're running a business and they haven't really done research on how to do it. They don't know what to title it. They don't know how to create those newsletters consistently. They don't know how to tell their team to create the newsletters. And so we could even be involved in that. And they want to go live. They don't even know where to start. So the reason why I know these things and why I could start to think about the problems that they have and start to think about how I could share things that genuinely help them is because I pay attention to my clients. So the thing is, if you have current clients, I want you to really think about the best type of clients that you have, the ones that get the results, the ones that do the work, the ones that pay you the most with the least resistance, and start to really think what it is that they want, the problems around that, what's stopping them from getting that related to your specific expertise. Now, this is the magic trick of all magic tricks. What can I share in the video? So, what can I start to share just one thing at a time that will genuinely help this person? But here's the caveat that they haven't heard a million times before, and that I actually believe, and that I have actually seen be useful from experience. The way to get someone to pay you to help them is to help them before they ever even pay you. And a lot of people are afraid to share what will actually genuinely help someone because they're like, oh, but then they won't pay you. The problem with that type of thinking is what happens when your competitors start to democratize that information before you ever do? Your prospects will be like, wow, they've given me so much more than you. They've helped me before I ever even paid them. They'll know that they exist and they won't know you. So the days of like proving that you can help people, proving your expertise beyond a consultation or like on the other side of a consultation, on the other side of a program are over. And I heard Tony Robbins say this the other day. The more that you give, the more successful that you'll be. So many people start video and they think it's about them. Oh, my expertise. I want to build authority. But you won't get eyes on you until you start to help other people. And the best creators on earth know their audience better than others. They are so in tune with their audience of problems related to what they do and unrelated to what they do. That is why they're able to relate to them at scale, sometimes by the millions, hundreds of millions. They know what they need before their audience even knows what they need. So when you're thinking about this client, this one client that you want to get. When you're thinking about this one person, I want you to almost imagine yourself sitting across from the table from this one person. And if I said, you have 1 minute to give them the most helpful thing that you possibly could based on your experience that they can actually go do by themselves, even if they never pay you, what would you tell them? And that's a good place for you to start. If you're scrolling the feed and I'm like, hey, the secret to achieving your goals is SMART goals, are you going to stop? No, you're probably not. Why is that? Because you've heard about SMART goals a million times before. Unless I'm like, hey, this is how you really do SMART goals, and I introduce a process that you never heard before, or a way to think about it that you've never heard before. So this is an example of like why knowing who you're talking to matters, because it will completely change what you share that will genuinely help them. So if I'm talking to a CEO that has a team of, let's say, 10 to 25 people, they do 10 million a year, they don't have a marketing department yet, and I'm going to genuinely share one thing that they should be doing on LinkedIn that I know that they're probably not, I'm going to tell that person that they should probably start with a LinkedIn newsletter. And that video could start with, hey, if you're a CEO, your company does 10 million a year, but you still don't have a full-blown marketing department. If you only do one thing on LinkedIn this year, launch your LinkedIn newsletter, and here's why. I'm filtering from the start. This video is only for you if you have this size business. If you have a team, but you don't have a marketing department, if you want to get some authority on LinkedIn, but you don't necessarily have the time to become a quote unquote influencer, here's one thing that you can do. And I could walk them through why and how to actually do it in between a minute and 2 minutes. That video would be very different from me sharing genuine advice. Hey, if you're a new coach who's looking to get their first client ever on LinkedIn, here's what I advise you do for the next 90 days. What I share in the second video would be very different than what I share in the first video. The point is that I see people creating this video, but yet they want CEO clients. I see people creating beginner videos, and then they come to me, they're like, oh, my videos aren't working. You're not speaking to the right person. And then when the beginner gets on a call with you, you're surprised. You're like, they can't afford my executive coaching offer. No wonder. They don't have their first client. And I see this all the time. Really, it comes down to who. Who are you speaking to, and what can you share that can genuinely help this person that they haven't probably heard before? And what could you really share from the heart? I know some of you want to share things, but it may be a little bit weird in the industry, or it may not be what the other videos are sharing. And that's a good thing. And so you're withholding help at scale because some other creator is sharing different advice and within probably different contexts. So the action steps for you today are as follows. Define what is your one goal with short form video over the next 90 days. I don't care what it is, you just need to define it. Who is the one person that you're speaking to in your videos? And start to brainstorm about a couple of the things that you can genuinely share with them that can genuinely help them, even if they never even pay you. So the days of, oh, if you're a CEO, here's why the LinkedIn newsletter is so important. That's great. What's greater? Here's why it's important, and here's how you could actually launch yours in 2 minutes or less. Which video is going to get more attention? Video 2. Why? Because I'm not wasting your time. Because it's more useful. Because I'm more giving. I'm saving you time. And time is the most valuable thing that we have. And we know this because if you go to any 80-year-old billionaire right now and you say, hey, would you rather be 30 again or give up all your money? All of them are going to give up all their money. All of them will. Why? Because time is valuable.